gang stalking. Is that like something to do with like stalking, gang stalking, or stalking like stocking shelves?
So no, well, gang stalking. So what they say is they say it's a delusion of paranoid schizophrenics, especially nowadays.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
they say it's like
No, I definitely
people
didn't hear
believe
about
they're
this.
being followed. People believe they're followed, and I'm going to put that one up front. So they believe they're being followed, and they believe that they're well, the people who are believing well that they're being followed are being made sick by the people who are following them.
Interesting. No, that I really never heard of it.
So
Wow.
here's the thing: is the government's been guilty of gang stalking. So the FBI, I mean, with Martin Luther King and surveillance and trying to induce paranoia or trying to induce intimidation
Right,
amongst religious leaders or political leaders or financial leaders,
right, right.
corporate leaders, they've tried to use whatever resources they have to kind of influence them and give them direction.
I can
And when
believe
they've
that.
been, yeah. So,
Crazy world, yeah.
but when money and power is at play, that's
Right,
obvious. I mean, when there's big dollars at play, that's pretty obvious.
it is.
But would they apply those same tactics with the same technology to homeless people? I'm homeless.
Right.
I didn't know if you know with the backpacks.
Kind of. I mean, you're pretty good shape and strong dude for having backpacks. I always wonder how you always carry those things, man. It's just, damn, that's gonna be like, you know.
One foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
They you build
Well, you
up
do.
to
You
it.
do. I mean, you always seem to do okay and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't call that out because that's not my job. You know, I don't like that. Fortunately, people like that are
Well, God
down
bless
the
me.
street and stuff like that. That's just not right because the world is crazy. I mean, turn on the news, take your pick.
Well,
I mean,
the
besides
world's
that
pretty
main stuff
sane.
and everything.
People are crazy.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
people in the world are crazy
yeah.
for
Poor
sure.
Maine's going through that right now, and then yeah, it's
But
crazy. But
so
go ahead.
there's you've heard of sonic weapons
Kind of, yeah. I heard
or
that.
electric weapons.
Yes, yes.
So
Electric pulse weapons or something. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so there's these weapons that can if they're directed at people can make them sick, like violently ill or sick.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but whenever I get down there and I'm at Tumbleweed Park,
Right.
and these last two times have been so horrible. Twice I've had to call the ambulance. I have to go to the hospitals to get help. And the other times I've just tried to fight through it with medication
So it
or
wasn't like you got bit or
no.
something, or somebody happened to be sick around you. It wasn't COVID or nothing like this. I
No.
mean, I know they tested for all this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and here's what I was thinking. I was like, Chandler's a pretty special neighborhood. I know that they have a lot of those engineers out there. They
Yeah,
have a lot of
they're
those.
building it up. Yeah,
They have
I mean
like
the
the
whole areas, but
Intel engineers, and you got a lot of the foreigners coming out there. And I see a lot in that park. I see a lot of Indians. I see a lot of Middle Easterners. I see a lot of very, very highbrow people who got more education than I did.
right.
And people who are a lot smarter with numbers
Well, that's interesting. Yeah,
and
research into that. Look into
but
that, but don't go there anymore.
do you think? That's what I was going to ask you. So if I'm bullied, if you're told to get out of a neighborhood and you're beaten up and you're said you don't belong here, and
Right.
they kick you and they say you don't belong here because
Did they really do that to you? I mean, did that happen to you?
well, if I got sick, I went to the hospital a number of times because
Oh, we talking about that part. Okay, I
yeah.
got you. Okay, yeah, yeah. I
So
know that's a good point.
would you let somebody well like a bully if he took your money and he said give me your lunch money,
Right.
would you fight
Yeah, I
and go
would. I
back?
mean, I had that too actually when I was a kid. Had that
Eh,
happen to me at Kings Island. Had my money tried.
Where's Kings Island?
It's in it's a park in Cincinnati, Ohio, outside Cincinnati. It's kind of like Six Flags.
Okay.
And this was when I was a kid, a long time ago. And I was with another kid, and I was approached by these two kids, older kids, obviously, and they want your money so they can spend it at the park. And I was only like 8 or 9, so I gave them my money. But the other kid, I mean, I couldn't do that to the kid. I was young. And these kids are like maybe 13, 14. And we couldn't find our counselors around or whatever it was. Back then, they kind of let kids roam in a way more than they do now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was kind of scary. But I mean, I
So
wanted to, but I wasn't old enough. I guess, but I have got in situations like that, unfortunately, about other things, but not like
so let
that.
me ask you: when in the times that you've stood up to bullies or against bullies, have they bullied you again after you've stood up to them? Whether you win or lose, whether you win or lose.
Sometimes they kind of try to. It's more like a cat and mouse game. Like they'll push it, then stop, and
So
then
if you stand up to them, they stop.
Yeah, kind of.
But if you don't stand up to them,
back
they're,
then, now it's just like I don't think people really care.
nobody cares. Nobody
Now
stands
you
up
can-
to nothing.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's different. It's like a different world when we were younger, and then I know you're not as old as me, but I'm saying a different world when we were younger. But
Yeah, I got my grace. got
well, you know what I
a few
mean. But I'm
more.
talking about
Yeah.
the younger generation. I feel
Yeah,
sorry
I
for
know.
them, like my grandson, because all this crazy crap that's been fed, and like you're talking about, that's actually pretty interesting. I actually had somebody tell me something. There was this homeless guy that would hang down by the Mesa Art Center because I used to work there first, and said he was from NASA, and he said he was on the run, left Florida, came out here, and he stayed homeless, so they were afraid they would kill his family. And his story seemed so he was really serious about it. He wasn't like out of it or he wasn't doing drugs or nothing like that. He was dead serious about it.
Yeah.
Like they were experimenting on people, and he didn't like it what they were doing. But really, NASA. I mean, that's so. Your point, like that, kind of rings a bell about that guy telling me about NASA. So I don't know.
Well,
I mean-
sorry, I don't know your name. My name's
Alex.
Alex.
Yes.
Quinn.
Like
Alexander.
well, it's Alex.
Alex.
Yeah, it's actually my name, but yeah.
So, Alex,